Hello and welcome to the Cove for a new Frostpunk series. So we finished up the last one of the Fall of Winterhome a couple of days ago, and now we are back with the penultimate one, the last autumn. So yes, let's go ahead and dive on in. This should be a whole lot of fun. As always, still have no idea what's going on. We'll just have to see as time goes by what chaos is to ensue. So either way, let's read the description. The Empire is collapsing under the strain of climate catastrophe, yet no one is ready to admit it openly. A secret project to build the generators is put into motion. Okay, well that's cool. I like that idea. Let's go ahead and see exactly what that's going to entail. A secret scenario. I guess that makes a little bit of sense. I guess if from what we know, they didn't want everyone to find out about the evacuations and the coming storm at first, it makes sense to prepare some kind of bunker without it getting rushed too early on. Alright, well either way, let's go ahead and see. Question is there a video clip to begin?
Personal Journal of Euphemia McLaughlin, Assistant Engineer at Imperial Exploration Company. It's been 5 weeks since we have left the familiar walls of Birmingham behind. Weeks of uncertainty, of struggle, of hope. And finally, we have reached the shores. We had 3 deaths so far. Or small price for progress, as IEC called it. I can only hope I am going to avoid their fate. They've claimed there was nothing to fear, that this whole journey of ours was just a precaution. But now, it feels like the weather is changing. And the winter seems inevitable.
Oh, very cool. Very nice. Alright, so let's see. The last autumn, we crossed the rough northern seas to reach Site 113, where we are to build the greatest marvel of technology, a generator. Your crew, lured by the promise of a steady job and eager to leave the work rides and bread queues behind, are somewhat taken aback at the sight of the desolate landscape surrounding the site. They were told not to ask for details, and there's no turning back now. There's no consensus why this contract has such a high priority, considering the deteriorating situation of the Empire, but your superiors are clear. This is the most important job of your life. Alright then, well, for Queen and Country, let's sally forth and tally ho. That's kind of a little bit weird. Lots of greenery. Very different from our standard run. Alright, so, basic facilities. Okay, so before you start building the generator, you have to set up the basic supply infrastructure. This means building the docks and gathering resources, piling up. We need raw food resources, the fishing harbor, or a forager's camp. Set up food source somewhere in the plains. Okay. So what have we got? We have discontent and motivation. Okay, so that's a bit of a change. Discontent is fairly standard, but motivation is... oh, current effect on the efficiency. No changes to motivation. Okay, so I'm assuming if we lower our motivation, we're going to get an efficiency debuff, and vice versa to the other direction. What are our resources? We still have coal, wood, steel, and raw food and food rations. What else do we have? Steam cores, structural profiles, steel composites, and steam exchanges. Okay, well that's a little different. Now, how far have we got? We have a reasonable sized map. Yeah, huge coal pile. That's 2,000 coal. That's impressive. Temperature is warm. In fact, this is the only time we've ever started in the positives. 10 degrees Celsius. That's not too bad. And then what else have we got? Well, obviously the generator goes there. Do we have any food? Oh, what have we got here? Shipwreck? Okay, that's not bad. I'm assuming we're going to have to salvage this at some point. And then what else have we got? We still have our Book of Laws. So what do we have? Administration. Okay. Find ways to keep your people healthy, fed, and motivated. Okay, so what does this look like to us? We've got hearty meals. Okay, a new recipe available. Eating hearty meals will increase motivation every day. And then there's, of course, rule. Yeah. Instead of full meals, feed the same amount with raw food. Yeah. Motivation will fall, discontent will rise. That is understandable. A bathhouse. That's not bad. Yeah, building a new building. Less likely to fall ill. Okay, so cleanliness and hygiene is still an issue. I suppose that makes sense if we don't have the same kind of burial site issues. And then what else do we have? Radical treatment and sustain life. Both of these we know fairly well from our standard runs. So, yeah. I think... Motivation rises with sustain life, but radical treatment causes discontent? Huh. But that would leave us open to needing prosthetics. Okay, and then what else have we got? On-site burials. A new building of a cemetery. Yeah, no risk of disease from unburied bodies. Each burial will decrease motivation, and we will have to establish a cemetery. Motivation will fall. Or, what's this? Repatriation of bodies. We have to build a morgue. Okay. Preparing bodies for transport costs wood. You will have to build a morgue. Huh. So I guess that's better for our motivation or hope and all. Okay, so that's interesting. So we have ceremonial funerals further down if we pick up the on-site burials, I think. Yeah, and then we have the company funerals, and I'm not sure what that is either. And then what else do we have? We have two more. The chapel. Okay, so that makes sense. People need a place to practice our faith and peace. So people will gather to pray, raises motivation. That's nothing too crazy. And then there is the public house, of course. And that still lowers discontent. And motivation will rise slightly. So, yeah, fairly stock standard. We won't choose anything right this second, but we'll see what we need to do first. How many people do we have? We have 90. 15 engineers and 75 workers. Alright, so let's see. What kind of buildings do we have access to? We have tents, medical posts, cookhouses, resource depots, gathering posts, and then a workshop. Okay, so a workshop could be very nice early on. Let us start gaining a little bit of technology and making everything a bit better. We only have 35 wood, so we certainly need to have... What do we have? Okay, so we can collect with a gathering post from over here. What do we have? A steel pile, wood pile. Okay, so more or less we're going to start collecting everything that we have access to. That's, what's that, 290 so far. A little bit of steel, that's not bad. Do we have any extra timber? Oh, and then some steam cores as well. I think we'll keep a couple of workers. Let's send 5 people over here. Actually, you know what? One... Yeah, that's all sorted. Yeah, let's go ahead and send 5 people to start working on the steam core. This is not as high a priority, I think. What we will do is we'll use some of our initial resources, make sure that we start getting some of the basics in order. So first of all, a cookhouse is going to be a necessity. Oh, too close to the generator. Ah. Okay, well that's a bit different. And then we have, yeah, all of that to worry about. Okay, so you know what? Let's go ahead and build Now, are there any boundaries? Oh, we've got a very interesting layout. So we can build all the way out here, but we're not going to have the same kind of... Yeah, it's a very wonky shaped map, but that's all right. We can figure this out. I think what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and pop this... put this over here. Actually, you know what? We'll just chuck that over there. That should be relatively all right for now. Actually, you know what? No, we're going to leave a little bit of room just in case we need a sawmill. That could be... Actually, you know what? Yeah, somewhere around there is probably going to reach both sides. So let's go ahead and just put this well out of the way of trouble. And we'll just pop that over there. Now, it's not adjacent to street. That's fine. We'll go ahead and link those two up. And then what else have we got? 9 timber left. Well, you know what? It doesn't matter. We're going to let things go. Let's see. We do have raw food. I think we should pass a law as fast as we possibly can. Does this use more... Okay, carefully prepared, bigger and tastier meals. Eating this food will be better motivated to work. Okay, we could serve tastier and more nutritious meals to motivate our people. Of course, it would require more food to prepare. That does sound good, but I don't know if we want to go with that straight away. I think what we could do is... Let's see. Bathhouse, that's not too bad. It has, yeah, a little bit of wood and steel. People living near a bathhouse are less likely to fall ill. I think that's probably a good plan right now. Either that or we go for the chapel. Yeah, sermons are held, so yeah, people living near chapels have high motivation. You know what, we'll come back to that in a bit. I think we're going to start off with the bathhouse. We'll sign that into law. Alright.
Rules and regulations have changed.
Alright, so nice new little call out in game there. Rules and regulations have changed. That is very nice. We have 10 people working on the new cookhouse. That'll be fine. Yeah, this is going to be interesting as we start preparing this generator. Alright, so people are still going to be working at the standard hours from previous games. That's good. We have... Hang on a second. Oh, we have a whole bunch of engineers that are not yet employed. Oh, well, in that case, let's send all of our workers there. There is no point why we shouldn't. And then... you know what? I'm really tempted to go for that early workshop. We can't put that closer to the generator either. That's kind of inconvenient. We could put this there. That would at least make the most of our roads. Yeah, let's go ahead and start building that too. We need to employ some of our engineers. It's kind of a waste if we don't. Let's go ahead. Yep, that's all sorted. Alright, so you're now up and running. Let's send a few engineers to start cooking some standard meals. Again, they're not better, they're not worse, but they do mean we're not going to use up our raw food unnecessarily. Alright, so what have we got? A word of advice, first steps. Sir, our employer, the Imperial Exploration Company, has prepared the site for us. Besides digging the enormous shaft for the underground part of the generator, they left us some construction materials behind to get us started. We should set up camp and clear the area around the shaft to make space for the construction facilities. Okay, well that's fine. We'll get that up and running. We also do need a lot of housing. So yeah, it's just going to be a matter of how quickly we can collect all of this timber and start building some homes. I suppose we're definitely going to need to start building some of them if we're going to deal with our discontent. So let's start with a... Where do we want to start our housing situation? I think we're going to start growing the houses out in this direction, a little bit further away. Yeah, but you know what? We'll give that... we'll wait to see just how much we have in the way of resources when this workshop goes up. Yeah, I'm not sure whether we're going to want technology or the house immediately. We still have enough work for another, what, another 8 hours. That should get us a decent way through. Yeah, you're all maxed out, so you're doing what you need to do. We may, in fact... How much could we drop? That's steel pile. Actually, you know what? We did learn this from the fall of Winterhome. If we have a look at the resource depots, they are a very efficient way of gathering from multiple places at the same rate consistently. So, yeah, even though we have, what's this, 1.5 steel per hour and the 4 timber per hour, if we put in a gathering post, we'll gather both of those at the same amount using less workers, or close enough to it. So that is something that could be rather beneficial early on, although I'm not sure if it's going to be incredibly important, as we're going to make our way through this relatively quickly. Alright, we have workers, so let's go ahead and start looking at our technologies for this run. So we only have 3 tech trees to worry about. We have resources, which is fair enough, sawmill, faster gathering, and some docks. Okay, so it allows us to build them and unload resources from ships. Ships bringing basic materials from local sources are unloaded here. Okay, well that's relatively cheap, and that could give us some food. That could be nice. Food and health, we have a foraging quarter. That's a bit different to our hunters' hangars. So let's see. Allows us to send foragers who search the wilderness for supplies and set up foragers camp, delivering raw food to the camp. It doesn't say how much we would be gaining per day, but that's worth noting. We can also, apparently we can get extra foragers as well as foraging carts. I guess that's because we don't have scouts. Okay, that still makes a little bit of sense. Yeah, there we are, boosted forager carts. That does make sense. The next level of tech, there's also fishing harbors, medical post upgrades to infirmaries. Okay, very interesting. And then generator construction, we have the profiles manufacture. So it allows us to build a profiles manufacture and produce structural profiles required to build the generator. Okay, well, that will be an inevitability, but I guess we will get to that at some point. There are some, protective structures, optimized materials, safety improvements, optimized protection, and then there's also a foundry. Okay, that must be for crafting some bits and pieces, as well as a machine shop and a ventilation plant. Okay, so I suppose one of our first things we need to make sure we have is food. So let's go ahead and start a forager's quarters. Yeah, I think that should be fairly important for us to get going. We have a limited amount of raw food, and if we can secure our food position, we may be able to buff up our motivation with the what do we call it? With the hearty meals. Alright, so that should be fairly alright. Already got 1 steam core, so that'll help us at some point, I'm sure. Yeah, and you know what? This will take us about 5 hours. Yeah, that's not going to finish tonight, so let's go ahead and start building some homes. Let's go ahead and we'll leave a little bit of room for the docks. I'm not sure how much room they will take, but I suppose we should probably start working in this area. Where should we go? Not adjacent to street. We should probably go around, say, to... Yeah, let's start about here. 2, 3. And that will have to do. That'll cost us more wood than what we've got, but I guess there's not much we can do about that. As long as we can get on top of this lack of shelter, that should be good for us. We only have a couple of hours more of work for the day, and then we're going to be going ahead and seeing what we've got. So it looks like we've got at least 2 days worth of rations, probably 2.5. So yeah, not bad that we're getting those foragers ready. Again, I don't know how many of those we will need per day, so
The shift's over. Time to grab a bite.
so that's worth noting. And yeah, let's go ahead and make sure that these houses, let's see, 6 timber for there. Where does the road go otherwise? Can we build you all the way through there? Yeah, that'd be 6 as well. You know what? That hits 2 of them, so I suppose that's better than the alternative, and we'll build across there. That's 8, and then let's go... Oh, we're going to want room for a church at some point too, so we do need to be slightly aware of it. I think we'll build another home. I don't know if that's quite in line. Yeah, it's a little bit awkward. Let's go 4 across. And then we'll stay with the remainder of the timber. That should be a good enough start. At least we've got half of our, well, more or less half of our housing sorted today. So we should have, yeah, we should have the rest sorted by tomorrow. That should be okay with the discontent. So what have we got? Camp life, idle hands. As the first workday ends, people start gathering in small groups to chat or play cards. A couple of workers are throwing rocks down the huge central shaft. Deep, ain't it? And to think we have to work down there. Out of boredom, or maybe to exercise their fears, more workers join in. Soon rocks start raining down the hole. This might be dangerous, but the camp offers very little entertainment. You know what? They're only throwing rocks. It's not like they're necessarily like climbing right up to the edge, right? These are all adults. You know what? Let them be. We're not gonna be the party poopers. We'll assume that they've got brains. So hopefully that doesn't come back to bite us. I don't know if that's the case, but who knows? Who knows? Looks like we can pass another law in 5 hours. Okay, so we're going to be able to pass a couple of laws fairly quickly early on. That'll be interesting. All right, there we are. Dealing with a little bit of that homelessness, kicking down that discontent. That's fairly good. We should check though. Let's see how far. If we went there to there, that'd cost us 2 timber. We could build 1 more house if we so desired. How much timber have we got? Still got 105. Yeah, so that's 200 timber. We're going to need some better technology for that soon. So I think we'll go ahead and, yeah, we'll pick up that sawmill second. Yeah, in fact, we probably should have done that a little bit sooner. Yeah, it's either food or timber, either of which is going to be important. I'm not entirely sure how this time frame is going to cause us issues, but knowing this game, it's going to get hectic at some point. There will be some kind of tunnel coming down the path. Hopefully, we can get out of the way. All right, so let's see. Not much we can really do at night time. Not at this early stage. Oh, we can introduce a new law. Okay, so you know what? I think that seems reasonable. We're going to want to finish up with these houses, so I think we're going to go ahead and build ourselves a chapel. 30 wood and 10 steel. I think that's quite good, yeah. A small place of worship for our people. Ceremonies are held here, and people living near the chapel will have higher motivation. So let's start continuing our little housing situation.
Regulations change.
And I may have just seen that right at the very end there, but was that an evening service as well? Yes, okay, that is really nice. That'll cost us a little bit of food, but I'm sure that will be well worth that. Alright, so I think we have to wait for now. Yeah, that chapel with 30 wood and 10 steel. I was kind of hoping it was the other way around, but it is what it is. So we'll have a bathhouse, and then we'll have a chapel. How much does the bathhouse cost? 40 wood and 20 steel. Okay, so that'll basically use up the remainder of our steel for now. That's okay, we won't need that for technology. We'll go for the sawmill next. We need to make sure we have a steady supply of all of those things. Yeah, we should be okay. Oh, and it looks like we've got some illness. Okay. I'll provide shelter for everybody. 2 days to provide shelter for the people. That's fine. We will happily we will happily provide shelter for everybody. That is easily sorted. Yeah, 50 timber is not going to be that hard to come across. Well, it's closer to 40, but we will be fine. I'm certain of it. Let's just see, though. How much does the sawmill cost? That'll cost us 10 to research. Okay. Yeah, we're going to be fine. We're going to be fine. All right, let's see. Any extra work we can start? No employees available. We need workers. Okay, so we can't send our engineers there. Can't send engineers here. Okay, so apparently we've only got a couple of jobs that are available to our engineers. Interesting. This could be a little bit problematic. Oh, and we do have 2 sick people. So if we check out our health, what is this? Medical post. That's 25. Okay. Well, they're only a regular level of sick, thank goodness. So we'll see how that goes. Let's go ahead and... those foraging quarters are almost finished. There we go. Let's go ahead and pick up that sawmill. That's going to be crucially important. We have 2 days for shelter. So we don't have to get everything right this instant. We have 2 days for a bathhouse. Okay. Let's go ahead and start. That's 35. Yeah, we're going to need a fair bit of timber. I think the first thing we should have done was go for that timber, but oh well, it is what it is. We can't do anything about that now. Luckily for us, in 7 hours, we will be done before the beginning of tomorrow. Yeah, we'll just have to see how our collection efforts go with all of this timber here. So, yeah, this is going to be a little bit slow of a beginning, but unfortunately, that is the way these things work. Alright, steam cores are depleted. That gives us back a couple of extra workers. We could go ahead and start collecting from a huge coal pile. What about... oh no, the shipwreck is not available. Is there anywhere else that we missed early on when we first scouted this location? I'm not thinking so. Yeah, although I'm not seeing where we can gain steel outside of this shipwreck. Pretty sure we're going to need more than 1,000. Yeah, that's not good. Alright, well, instead of having idle hands, let's go ahead and send them to the huge coal pile. Better them do something than nothing. That's, yeah, going to have to be it. Alright, let's see. Steel pile. No, that's all still disappearing. Timber. Plenty of that is making its way out. We have about, what, 20 hours of work. Okay, so if that's the case, we still have a couple of days worth of work there. And I did not mean to go into the Book of Laws. I meant to check our economy. How much timber have we produced per day? We're producing 80. Aye. That's not quite what we wanted, but it will have to do. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and build... go with a chapel. That's a fairly large area. That's not too bad. Yeah, we could pop that up over there. That would reach a couple of homes, in fact. Yeah, that could be quite a good spot. Either that, or do we go with the bathhouse? Yeah, certainly losing out on a little bit depending on where we put it. Okay, so I think what we'll do is maybe pop you about there-ish. We can still do the chapel, but I think we'll get to that after we do the chapel first. So let's go ahead and build... oh, actually, do we go for the medical post? What's the likelihood of them going from sick to gravely ill? I don't think we can really afford not to. It's a pain. Let's... where is... hang on a second. Let's go ahead and build the chapel first. Yeah, both of these go in roughly the same position. So you know what? We'll chuck this one... chuck this one there. That should be good enough. Then we'll put the bathhouse beside it. That leaves us with an extra 4 timber necessary for a medical outpost, and we're going to make sure we get that medical outpost. We can't afford our people to get sick. I don't think it matters that it is right here or not. Let's go ahead and throw you... Yeah, we're going to go ahead and put this here because we know that's not quite within range. That should be fine. So again, people aren't technically living there. Then the question is, that's 4 wood. And this is 2. Okay, so I guess we'll go that way. We'll do this as efficiently as possible. Alright, let's get that building up and running. Alright, well, you know what? I think that's not a terrible place to leave things for today. We've made some pretty decent progress. We've already got some extra... we've already maxed out our food rations. We're well on the way towards getting a sawmill. And we are finishing up the housing and a little bit of medicine and even helping people on their spiritual journeys. So I think we are doing relatively well. So if you do want to see more of this playthrough, tune in an hour from now when this video goes live, and there will be a double episode. I do like to start these series with a double feature. So yes, tune right back in an hour, or maybe even half an hour if you saw this as this airs, and I will see you then. So if you do want to see more, be sure to hit that subscribe button. It is the best way to be notified of all future content, and I'll see you next time. So until then, thank you for tuning into the Leviathan Cove. This is the Leviathan, signing out.